All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Bonnie, and I chose the topic of changing music genres and just how artists are responding to kind of this new discourse. The music industry relies heavily on clear-cut genres for obvious reasons, such as characterizing or certain labels not wanting or wanting certain singers with certain sounds and artists linked to them. Also, as the listener, it kind of creates this musical map that helps us discover more and more artists. And while these things are really important, um, a lot of artists are saying that it has started to turn limiting, which makes a lot of sense, especially as creative people. When artists start to feel like they have to check these certain boxes or create certain sounds that fits their genre, it can be extremely limited and frustrating, and it kind of defeats the purpose of being an artist in the most simple definition of one, just creating music. It can be creatively frustrating. If an artist swims between different genres, a lot of times people will label them as confused, or they start to discredit their artistic ability. And I think a really great example of this is with Taylor Swift. Um, Taylor Swift is an incredible artist. She has about 7 or 8 albums um, with tons of different categories. I think her top three categories of her albums are country, pop, most recently alternative. Um, and we kind of saw this timeline of Taylor Swift getting a lot of hate, and she's always gotten a lot of hate for her music for a variety of different reasons. But when she first released her album Red in 2012, it was her first album that was labeled as a pop album instead of a country album. And I don't think it's a crazy conclusion to make that the correlation of her kind of changing her sound and moving things around as an artist got a lot of hate. Um, Similarly, with the 1975, this is kind of an old picture of them, but they are kind of seen as like this genreless band. Some people label them as alternative pop, pump rock, um, and like this kind of sad boy sound where they're kind of entering this new idea of genre bending. And with all of this new music coming out, it's hard to put it into this hypothetical box that a lot of people have created. Another really great example I like to use is 100 gecs. They are this kind of like crazy hyper pop band. They have a lot of fun like voice effects and sound effects. And they're kind of blending this traditional sound of like bedroom pop that I think artists like Billie Eilish had a um, big hand in kind of creating these new sounds, and they start to get merged over time into one, and they start creating these new spaces for bands like 100 gecs. um, Tyler the Creator um, began another really great conversation surrounding music categories at music awards like the Grammys. He won Best Rap Album for Igor, and he had this really great and interesting response at his like post winning interview. He says, whenever we, and I mean guys like me, do anything that's genre bending, they always put it in a rap or urban category. And I don't like that word. It's just a politically correct way to say the N word to me. So when I hear that, I'm like, why can't we just be in pop? Half of me feels like the rap nomination was a backhanded compliment. This is him with his Igor win Grammy. And the Grammys have been under a lot of fire more and more for snubbing specifically Black artists. If they're not in the category of urban or R&B, they're not winning awards. Specifically, Black female artists. If they're in a category such as pop, they're getting snubbed like every year. And Tyler, the Creator, had a really great response to that and opened up a lot of discussion. Moving forward, I don't think the conversation should be, should we get rid of genre? You know, should genre disappear? I don't think it should, but we shouldn't base our awards or nominations on genre. Genre should kind of start to cater to the music. There's a lot of new music coming out, there's a lot of new artists coming out, and that means that more options will increase for, you know, when people ask you, who's your favorite artist? What's your favorite genre? A lot of people can't really answer that question because I have so many. But these awards and nominations have to kind of keep up with that. Lastly, I thought this graph was just interesting. Again, there's only 6 categories here on the graph: pop, rock, R&B, rap, hip hop, and gospel. There's only 6 of them. The data is interesting, but I think this whole concept of genre and how it's changing is really, really important for modern artists and where they're going in their career.